I knew a dog named Maggie, used to follow me around my hometown. She looked like a wolf, she laughed like a hyena, she cast no shadow on the ground. All the stray dogs in my neighborhood barked and howled as I passed by, but Maggie never showed me her teeth, she never left my side. Maggie the mud is frightening someone for those that do not know. And Maggie the mud ain't nothing but a reflection of my soul.
Do you have a hardworking dog? How about a mom about to give birth to some pups? Our Super Meal 30/20 is perfect for either scenario. With a whopping 510 kcals per cup, your dog will have more energy than ever before. It will also help keep your dog in top shape even while working or nursing pups. The added pumpkin will not only help with a healthier stool, but it also provides added calcium, which will help with lactation. Added magnesium will help with muscle repair, and the added vitamin B will help not only mama but her pups thrive. And of course, our key ingredients, omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, glucosamine and chondroitin, vitamin E and zinc, will help keep them healthy from the inside out with a shinier coat, healthier joints, and a healthier immune system. Over 75 years with no recalls and 100% American made, you can rest assured you are feeding your dog the best bang for your buck. Get Super Meal today. Call 800-245-4125 or visit joydogfood.com.
Week recording.
I just hit the button.
That's how good I am.
You ready, Finley?
Let's get this done.
This is part 2 of our Mythbusters series.
And this is about the handling.
We're going to touch on handling.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows on social media that it just takes a money man.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can buy off most of these calves.
all you got to do is cheat to win.
Yeah.
And the best coon dog never wins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about the dogs, which I agree with. It's not just about the dogs. It's team sport.
Absolutely. It's a 50-50 deal.
Yeah. And
It's actually about 70-30, but
it is 70% dog, 30% handler.
yeah.
Or 80-20, maybe. It's in there. We'll call it 75-25. Yeah. We'll compromise.
Yeah. Sounds good.
What other myths are there about, and we're just going to focus on the high-end hunts, which now hold on, here's another thing I want to talk about real quick. PKC zones. Oh, you're rolling your eyes, Finley.
Hey.
What?
I am so proud of you for coming up with that.
I'm not looking for credit. I'm actually trying to give credit to RD.
I think you did an awesome job.
And Shane.
I think it's
other than Lancaster, Kentucky.
Hey, people can go there.
Yeah, that's
we
fine.
We don't have to go there.
That's fine, but it's only 4.5 hours from Salem.
Yeah.
I think Troy, Iowa would have been a better fit. It's farther from Salem because right now everyone from central Missouri out west into Nebraska, northeast Kansas, up into Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin don't really have any coverage for the zones. But that's a small deal.
Miami, Oklahoma, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
I got us reserved for both nights.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's not far from us.
No, it's probably
5 hours. Yeah, it's not too
most.
far. 4.5, I think actually.
Yeah.
Like
it ain't that bad.
No. But yeah, the PKC is going to have a zones, and we're just going to I'm going to lay that out real quick for everybody so there's no confusion, which there was a ton of confusion when they made the announcement.
Oh, man. I had people texting me, what in the hell are PKC doing? Da, 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 da.
And it's important to stress that nothing changes at Salem.
No.
There are still
four qualifying
nights.
Same old.
You still double up at Salem.
Yep.
I'm going to be at Salem for the Youth World, and I'm going to be at Salem all week, no matter what, anyway.
In our defense, I kind of like the idea because let's say that Jace decides to hunt Rain or Hazel.
Yeah.
We take him down.
He won't be able to hunt Hazel, hopefully.
Well, okay, say he hunts Rain.
Yeah.
We take her down. We get her qualified down in Oklahoma, at Miami, Oklahoma. She'd go out and hunt the Youth World, but then she's fresh coming into this.
She gets the week off.
I mean, to me,
there has not been many complaints. There's been a few. Some folks think that the World Hunt should be an even playing field. It is. I think it is too. Like Steve Yant, who's a good friend of mine and yours. I love Steve to death, but he disagrees because he thinks that everybody should have a level playing field at Salem, one location to win a World Hunt. But I don't think if a guy gets in and he gets in at one of these zones, he's not coming out to Salem till probably Thursday or Friday. I think a dog that's hunted at Salem all week and is getting a rhythm is a better.
Absolutely.
I don't think any dog that wins a zone and gets in at zones will make it to the finals.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
I think they might win a cast.
Yeah.
But they're not
unless they do it right. Maybe take them out to Salem on Wednesday, get them a night of pleasure hunting out there somewhere if you got someone that'll guide you, and then you're on a level playing field. But as far as just getting in at the RQE and going out to Salem on Friday, getting there early, and then hunting Friday night, you're at a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But those were some of the complaints. But there hasn't been a lot. It's been pretty well accepted. I think with $5 gas, everybody's pretty stoked about it.
Absolutely.
And I think...
hey, Mercer, Missouri, I filled up today. It was 405.
Yeah, it's going down.
It's going down. Oh, hey.
We only got about
Biden's
30
giving
to 40.
us a punching chance.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. You know what Biden said about it? I love green monkeys plus my tattoo. That's his exact sentence. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said.
Oh, boy.
But anyways, where were we even going?
Would you quit being a Democrat?
Yeah, that's what I am. Anyway, we were talking...
Hey, no offense to Democrats out there. We love y'all.
Yeah. Not all of you, but most of you.
Yeah.
Some Democrats are very good people.
Absolutely.
And then some of them are... Some Democrats are very good people.
Some Republicans are too.
Yeah, and some are bad. Yeah. There's bad folks and there's good folks. We like the good folks. There you go. Anyway, enough politics. All right. We only got we got infinity, I guess. But anyway.
But the zones are a great deal.
Zones are coming. PKC made that announcement. They also have PKC's done a lot in the last few weeks for the little man.
Absolutely.
That's one of the big gripes we're going to get into. It's a rich man sport. They only cater to the money guy, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. They've done a lot of changes here in the last few weeks to hope. Like we said in the last podcast, it's an inclusive sport. They're trying to include everybody.
Yep.
I think every kennel club does a pretty fair job of representing the folks.
Yep.
Pro Sport, UKC, PKC, whatever.
Yeah.
I think they do a really good job of that. But PKC's got the zones now. They've got an opportunity to qualify for what's that hunt going to pay? That final deal? I've forgotten. $120,000.
Yeah, I think it's $120,000 for first.
And you can do that through open events.
Absolutely.
You can get qualified for a spot like that through open events. So that's another good thing. Moody and them guys come up with that. So kudos to them guys for that. So yeah, there's some changes coming. But well, anyway, let's get back to myth busting.
Yeah.
What was the first myth I said? Do you remember?
I have no idea. That'd been like 15 minutes ago.
You got to lean up towards the mic, ding dong.
That's been like 15 minutes ago, Josh. And then you went on this rant. So let's start out. It's a rich man sport.
Okay, we're going to start out with that. It's a rich man sport.
I can tell you right now, they didn't know me.
No.
Back when I first started.
Or me now. It ain't like I'm just rolling in the cash.
Hey, you ain't hurting.
No, I'm not hurting. I'm a blessed guy.
Yes.
And I've worked very hard.
Yes.
And I think that is the key to this.
Absolutely.
Is you work hard in life, you're going to be successful.
That's true. That is true with anything a person does.
I'm sure there is a disabled person that's greeting at Walmart that probably ain't doing well or something maybe, but that's not his fault. But as a rule, if you work hard and you put the time in, you put the hours in, and you're very good at your craft, you're going to get a break.
Right.
And a lot of these folks just don't see it immediately, and it turns them off.
Yep.
You know, say a guy goes and wins 2 or 3 casts at a local UKC club, and then he sees, you know, a Michael Ward winning 2 or 3 trucks or something like that, and he thinks, I can do that, but I just don't have the brakes. I just don't have a rich man behind me. I just don't have this. Well, you know what? Michael Ward at that one time was the guy that was winning a couple UKC casts.
Yeah.
He was that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like anything else in life. If you're good, someone's going to notice you.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand, when I bought Trader, I couldn't even afford a refrigerator for my house.
Yeah. When Jeremy bought Skipper, I remember he bought Skipper, I think it was $5,000. And Angie bawled. I mean, cried, because they had $5,000.
Yeah.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
They had $5,000, and they were able to buy Skipper, and the rest is history. Skipper bought them land and
Absolutely.
built them kennels and stuff like that.
But it's a break.
But Jeremy did put the work in after he got Skipper. He kept hunting, he kept promoting, he kept working, he kept slaving, and good things come to those that earn it.
Yes.
It's not to those who wait or those that do this. It's those that earn it.
Yes.
And so,
you go out there and get it.
yes. And like, say I was at the Pro Sport Hunt a couple weeks ago, or Kinder's going on tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't get an entry for Kinder, but it's going on tonight. A lot of my good friends are down there, and I can't think of any one of them that were born rich,
No.
born with a silver spoon in their mouth.
John Strickland, but I mean, other than that.
Yeah, but Strick's a special case.
Yeah.
Is Strick down there? Does he have an
I
entry for
have
Kinder?
no idea. I just had to throw that in there.
John's gonna love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's what people don't understand is that, say you're a younger guy and you've got a pretty good dog,
Yeah.
and you're hitting local hunts and that's it, and it's not going anywhere else. If you're a good handler and you have a good dog, someone's going to notice.
Absolutely.
Someone's going to try to buy your dog,
Yeah.
or someone's going to try to hire you as a handler.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But
Yeah.
you got to be special, and you got to really put a lot of effort in. Like, say when I'm hunting when I was young, 18, 19, 20 years old, and I'm hunting for Tom Cooney, and I'm training his pups for him, and I'm starting pups for Tom, I'm still working every day.
Yeah.
I'm plowing cable at CCOM. I'm getting up at 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm working until 6:30 or 7 o'clock. I'm getting home. I'm getting a quick bite to eat. I go hunting until 2 or 3 in the morning. I come back. I get 3 hours of sleep. I do it all over again.
Yeah.
And folks notice that.
Yeah.
Now, it's not healthy. I wouldn't recommend it to just anyone, but that is the kind of effort that succeeds in this sport.
Absolutely.
Michael Ward and Dustin Weed and Scott Engel and all them guys that are being real successful, they're really good at this.
Yeah.
And they're really good at this. They weren't born that way.
No, they're good at multiple things.
Yes, they're good at effort. Effort is what they're good at.
Yeah.
And just like you run a business.
Yeah.
You know, when you're getting dogs ready, you're still hunting every night.
Yeah.
You've got a place to maintain. You've got things to do. So you cut something out. You cut out sleep. You cut out whatever,
Yeah.
and you just get the job done.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and the other thing is, when you're focused on getting dogs ready and you want to be successful at something, it's no different than a pro athlete putting his time into his whether it's football, baseball, basketball. It's the same thing. And I mean, that's what, like, Kevin Cable, Michael Ward, Dustin Weed, all these guys do it.
They got good at their craft.
They've gotten great at their craft, and they just keep doing it.
Like, Cable's a very good instance.
Yeah.
Very good. I mean, that's a guy that was born coon hunting.
Yeah.
He was born to it, and he took to it, and he decided at one point in his life that that's what he was going to do as a career.
And he's made a hell of a
And
career.
he's done a
out of it.
good job. He's
Yeah.
he's had some of the top stud dogs in the country. He's made money off them. He's had some of the best dogs on the planet in his place.
Yeah.
He's won the world hunt. He's
Yeah.
won trucks. He's done all that stuff, and it's just been because he dedicated himself to the sport.
Yep.
And I'm sure at some point these folks that dedicate themselves to the sport they're gonna have to sacrifice something.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
every one of them does.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a great home life if you're out all night. You're not gonna have Most good coon hunters are divorced 2 or 3 times. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
And so unless you're willing to sacrifice, you're never going to get to that level.
Right.
And so these guys all started where these guys that are griping are at.
Yeah.
Another myth I wanted to bust is the old timer myth.
Old blood?
No, not old blood. Don't
oh.
even get me started on that stupid phrase, old blood. It's a dumb phrase. It's all old blood. It's the same. Anyway, that's ignorant.
Okay.
But anyway, the old timer myth.
Yeah.
You'll always hear people say, "Well, an old timer told me,"
Yeah.
or "The old timers told me." And don't get me wrong, some of these old timers sharp dudes,
Yeah.
and they've been doing it a long time, and they're very good, and they're good houndsmen. But just because you've been doing something for a long time doesn't mean you know what you're talking about.
That's exactly right.
And so if you have, and this is going to sound like I'm picking on elderly people, and I don't want it to, because there are a lot of older coon hunters that are super sharp. Robert Williams is a good example.
And we listen to those
Oh,
people.
yes. When Robert tells me something about how to start a pup, and there's times where I've ignored Robert and thinking, Robert, I think he's wrong on this one. And then as time goes on, you realize that he probably knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Eldon Prettyman or Dale
Stedman.
Loveland or Randy Stedman. Yeah, Randy Stedman, you're old.
He is good.
Jed just called you old.
68.
Yeah, he is. But you look at some of these guys, and it's nothing. There's nothing wrong, but they've been there and they've done that.
Yep.
They know what a good coon dog is.
Yep.
But there's a lot of older gentlemen that have been hunting a long time. My grandfather was one of them. I loved him like a dad, great human being, and I wish he was still here today. But I don't remember him having a whole lot of good coon dogs when I look back.
Yeah.
He had strange ideas about things. How he done it was not the way I would do it, and he was wrong a lot of times.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that either, but that's a myth that we need to listen to all the old timers.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, great people. I
know.
love hanging out with them. I love hearing their stories. They got the best stories.
Yeah.
But when it comes to what it takes to win a $6,500 hunt,
They really do not have a clue.
no, most of them don't. Now there's exceptions. There's
Yeah.
the Frank Giddings of the world. And,
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Jess, looking a little old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's looking a little aged now. He had Niall Bartling in a headlock the other night. He was looking pretty young then. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that just because someone's been doing it a long time don't mean they've been doing it right.
Yeah.
What else we got? What's our next myth? Cheating handlers.
Oh, my God.
Finley, get me started on one of
Where
the things.
do you start on this?
Well, one of the things you hear on social media are that
It's jealousy.
guys can win with a poodle.
It's
All right?
jealousy.
Yeah, most of it is. Most of
But
it is.
the thing is, what people don't understand, too, is when you get on a hot streak, I don't care what you're turning loose. You're going to win. Because you're getting the breaks and everything else. When you go on a losing streak, I don't care how good of a handler you are. Scott Engel's been on him. Ward's been on him. Weed's been on him. Kevin Cable's been on him. Steve Yant, Ryan Croson. The list goes on and on and on. All these people have been on hot streaks and they've been on cold streaks. And when they come, they come. And when they go, they go. It's just the way it is. Here's a prime example. You got Ward, Weed. Let's just use those two for example.
Okay.
How often?
We've been picking on Ward and Weed a lot.
Well, we've been talking about how good
they are two of the top handlers right now. Yeah.
And they're at most of the hunts.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, they're about every hunt. Okay. People don't recognize when they're not winning, but they recognize when they are winning.
Yeah.
Because usually when they win a pretty good lick.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it. Both of them put in the time, everything else. But every handler's the same. The Verdens, exact same way. I mean, you got 3 guys that are very good handlers. But they go on streaks where they don't win too.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't talk about that. They don't see how many times they get beat. They only see how many times they win. Well, if you compare win and loss percentage, I bet the loss is way higher.
Yeah, per cast.
Yes.
But they're also competing at the highest level too.
Right. I understand that.
But if they started going to $15 and $30 hunts, their winning percentage is going to go up to about 80 or 90.
But what I'm saying is the jealousy, that's where the jealousy is, because they're looking at, they're getting to go to these big hunts and they're hitting these big licks. When all actuality, they're losing just as much as they're winning.
Yep, that's true. Let's take last summer, for example. I went on that hot streak of rain. What'd we do, break even?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. By the time I think you might have lost 1,000 when I got it done with.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't break even. I did well.
no, but what I'm saying is,
But I'm just saying, by the time you pay the entry,
yeah,
you pay me half my winnings,
yeah,
and all that stuff. Yeah, and let's use me as an example too.
yeah.
I made all kinds of money last summer. I ain't
Yeah.
made Jack Le Pucky this summer.
Well, we haven't been going to hunts. either.
No, but we went to a few, and I've got beaten pretty much all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, you get spanked.
I'm on a pretty cold streak right now.
That's why I keep thinking we got to reevaluate our situation because I need to hire Jace instead of you. I don't know. Jace, we send him somewhere, he just wins.
Well, this year I done well with scent.
Yeah,
Last year I did well with rain.
Right.
This year I can't win a cast with rain. It started at the World Hunt last year, and now all of a sudden, where me and Rain were clicking,
Yep.
just some little minor things are happening to where it's not working for me and Rain, where it was working for you and Rain or Jason Rain down at Youth
Yep.
Nationals.
but a lot of that cheating though comes from seeing those people hit them big licks.
Yeah.
And Scott Engel, prime example, wins $200,000 hunts.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry, but you cannot cheat to win $100,000.
No.
If you're cheating at a $100,000 hunt, you're probably going to get your ass whooped at the end of the night.
Yes. And someone's gonna notice.
Absolutely.
Now,
But I mean, that's what I
Here's
feel
where
about that.
here is where I think 60 to 70%, maybe higher, of those situations come from where people start griping about cheating is because they're in a smaller event. When let's just get this out here. There is less cheating at the more money you pay at a cast.
Absolutely.
There's less cheating.
Absolutely.
The higher end events. Now there are little things handlers do.
Screw ups.
Yeah.
But the handler, at the higher end events, the handler will admit they fucked
The
or
judges,
screwed up.
the judges know. It's okay, Jeff. The judges know. The other handlers know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yep. And
You
they'll-
can't-
and you admit it. Mm-hmm. You know, you'll call me and say, "Ah, man, I made a bad call," or I'll call you and say, "I made
Yep.
a bad call." You know, but when you get to littler money, then it's all just you know.
I don't
they
know.
buddied up on me.
I don't know why that someone wants to win $72 so bad,
Or slip of paper.
or slip a paper. I've never been that way.
I was at one point.
I know you were at one point.
Win at all costs.
Yes, but I can't see, and I can't now. I'm at a point in my life now where I told you at our first truck hunt that I'm a pretty poor handler because I have to do literally everything by the book.
Yeah.
I'm in a situation in my life with
Yep.
this podcast and with Joy Dog Food and with
Well, I
Big
can
Show
tell you right
Productions.
now, they can't say we're cheating.
No, I'm, and I've always took, for some reason I've got stuck with being a judge for the last 12 years nonstop.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I take judging very seriously. And so, that's another part of the reason that makes me a poorer handler than I probably should be. But what a lot of these cheating things and these myths that come by are from smaller hunts.
Absolutely.
Some guy says, well, I've seen Grand Nights that couldn't even tree a coon, or I've seen this.
Well,
And that's not a lie.
No.
In some cases,
Yeah.
not all cases, but some cases. But we're not talking about that.
right.
We're talking about professionals,
Yep.
and these are professionals that are going to give their dog every opportunity to win. And this is part of the team
Absolutely.
sport aspect that we're going to talk about here after this. Is they're going to give every opportunity for their dog to win, and they're going to bend rules as much as they can, as much as the judge allows. A lot of it depends on what the judge is going to take or how you can influence a cast. We are out there literally to influence the other handlers in the cast
Absolutely.
and the judge in the cast.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm literally trying to make sure that, say, Rain has a 2 put on her because she chews, and we know she jacks a tree real bad and it's hot. I'm going to keep walking.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep walking hard. Not if I'm judging. If I'm judging, I stop and put the 2 on myself because I'm honest like that. But if I'm not judging, I'm walking until he stops me, and then I'm talking for the first 30 seconds, to try
Yeah.
to keep him walking until he literally tells me you have to stop.
Yeah.
Because that's just one example of being a good handler and giving your dog every opportunity.
Yes.
If rain, here's another handler tip I want to give everybody: don't minus yourself.
Yeah.
Ever. Under any, I've never minus myself under any circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, I love it when someone does it when I'm judging,
Yeah.
but don't minus yourself.
But here's another thing. It's knowing your dog.
Yeah.
It's knowing what that dog is doing. And that handler in tune with the dog makes a huge difference.
It does. But a lot of people that think that all this is cheating and that everybody's pulling fast ones to win these casts, if that was the case, they would win every cast.
Here's the deal. Knowing the rules helps a bunch too.
Yeah, most of the cheating rumors come from
Right.
folks that had no idea what the rules were.
Not a clue.
Yes. And you've been on cast where people made up the rules. You've been the person that made up the rules on a cast, I've no doubt.
Absolutely.
I think I have too. I probably have.
I mean, you name it, I've tried it.
There you go. But that's part of your job as a handler.
Yeah.
Now, say you get in a
Now, you don't have to take it to the extreme as some people
No.
do all the time.
And here's one other. I was going to do a handler tip portion of this, but one other handler tip is never get loud. So to me, that was one of the mistakes you made early in your career.
Yes.
Was getting loud.
Quickly.
Yes. Now, if someone gets loud in my cast and I'm judging, they get one warning and then they're scratched immediately.
You're so civil.
Yeah, I am very civil. I don't mind if someone questions my call. It ain't gonna offend me.
Mm-hmm.
Just question it. We'll vote on it. If you don't like the vote, put your money up. We'll take it to a panel, and we'll all be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And that is how 95% of the time it does work.
At the larger events.
At the large, this is what I'm speaking
Yeah.
of right
Yeah.
now. Is just at the
Yeah.
larger events. Nobody holds any grudges.
Nope.
Everybody's friends. You know,
Well-
you draw the same guys most of the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you really look at the higher end entries, I'd say there's probably about 40 people that shuffles around in them.
Yeah, 40 to 50.
Yeah.
I'd say. You know, you get a larger event, you're going to get some outliers. There was a guy, I wish I remembered his name. We're at the Pro Sport Hunt in Shawneetown, and there's a guy from Utah there with a black and tan. He drew Engel early, or he had a late entry. He drew Engel late with Echo, and I can't remember who the other two cast members he had were. Super nice guy. If you're listening to this, send me an email, Josh at joydogfood.com, and send me your info, because I want to talk to that guy on the podcast. Super good dude. That's
a long way.
He hunts big game, lions, cats, and bobcats, whatever, and then he coon hunts also.
Yeah.
And he's got he's got a line of black and tan dogs that
Cool.
I think some of them come from Jeff's stuff.
Yeah.
And he was out there at the Pro Sport Truck Hunt.
Yeah.
Didn't win his cast, but I pulled up and there's this guy with a black and tan tied in the back of a new Dodge Dually. And I just got done with the early round, pulled up next to him, got out, was letting rain out and making sure she had water. It was hot and everything. And he had his window down. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Oh, pretty good." And we got to talking. I said, "Where are you from?" He goes, "Utah." I said, "You're from what?" He said, "Utah." So anyway, he came out and tried it. So kudos to that guy.
Yeah. That's a long ways to come.
That
to
is
try
a
it.
long ways to come to try to win a truck.
Well, no offense, but he might have seen me win a truck and thought it was pretty easy.
Yeah, he may have. He's like, that dog only treated one coon, won
Yeah.
a truck in the late round.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah. But anyway, I can't remember where we were at now. Cheating. We're
Cheating.
talking about cheating.
Yeah.
It's not as prevalent
No.
as people think.
No.
What people confuse is good handler moves and no, Finley, don't turn that up. Oh, I was getting ready to start.
Yeah.
But anyway, what people confuse is as a good handler and giving your dog an advantage, they view as cheating.
Right.
But at the higher events, all the handlers know the tricks.
Yep.
All the judges know the tricks. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know, the best dog that night is going to win that cast 95% of the time.
Yeah, you're not usually going to pull one over in one of those casts.
No.
And if you do, you got dumb lucky.
Yes.
And you were semi-right.
Yeah, it was probably a 50-50 call,
Yeah.
you know, on something like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of, so here's an example. Late round, truck hunt. Jake Moore, Dual Murphy are left in the cast. James is withdrawn. And so it's just us three I'm judging. I'm walking to Rain. I'm sprinting to Rain. And the Dual's over here with his bum hip from his crash and everything. You know, he's keeping up. Jake's keeping up. And kudos to them guys for not telling me to slow down, because that's as fast as I walked all night. But we get to Rain. We get her cut loose. He had treed Z for 200. Now, if Z has this coon and Rain does not get treed again, Z's going to win. Now, Jake's treed, but we can't hear him. And so we're walking to Z. The tree's closed. Jake keeps stopping to ask me to listen. If he can get his dog treed in, he's going to win this cast. If I can't hear him, Dual's going to win this cast. If Z has a coon, which I assume, or no, it wasn't Z, it was Marv. If Marv has a coon, then he's going to win this cast. And so we stop to listen. And as soon as we stop, Dual starts talking. Dual starts running his mouth. He's arguing with Jake. He's saying, we got to hurry up to my tree. We can't stop. And I know exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to prevent me from hearing Jake's dog, which is good move.
Yeah.
Smart, intelligent. That's what good handlers do.
Did it work?
No, I told him to shut up for 5 seconds. I gave Jake 5 seconds. We stopped for 5 seconds. I couldn't hear his dog. We kept walking. Marv had a coon. He wins the cast. I did hear Jake's dog after the cast was over, but I could not hear him at that time. James Perriman in that same cast. We're walking to the first tree. His dog's deep. He trees her as we're walking. I stop. James, where she's at? He points. I faintly hear a dog that direction. I think. But we're walking to the first dog. It's the first one out of the truck.
Yeah.
Looking back, I probably couldn't even hear that dog. But I think I got her. And so I take his call. I put her in for 100. We go score that first tree. We walk back out on. James tries to take us on a roundabout way. we walk back out on the road where I hear her. I put the 2 on her. I can faintly hear her. I think she's moved. I'm pretty sure she's moved. Or I'm pretty sure she wasn't treated when he treated her the first time. But she's in the same direction. There's nothing I can do. That's a good handler move. Mm-hmm. You got to get that dog treat in. You take a chance. It worked out. Kudos to them guys. I'm not mad about it. That's good handlers.
Yeah.
And Jake trying to get me to stop on the way to that tree is good. Mm-hmm. Dual talking until I told him to be quiet is good. James treeing that dog when I don't know if I can hear her or not, but he talked me into it is good. Good job. Yeah. You know, kudos to those guys. Yeah. That's why they're at that level.
That's right.
Is because they give their dog every opportunity to win within the rules. And Civil, all those guys are my friends.
Yeah.
And very fun to hunt with. We had a great time on those casts. Yeah. You know, so people don't understand at that level that we all know what's going on, but you're still trying to give your dog every opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
And you do that too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you would have been running, you probably would have been louder than Dual.
More than likely. And when you told me to shut up and listen for 5 seconds, I'd have took it for another 10.
Then you'd have got your warning. Then you'd have shut up for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, Finley, what else? What else we got for competition coon hunting myths?
Well, handler-wise, I mean...
Who's the best handler on the planet right now?
Puh.
That was a question that got proposed on the social media the other day.
You know, the best handler on the planet, I don't even know if it's one of the top people.
Active. Best active handler.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Man, that's a tough one. It depends on what you're looking at for. I mean, all around best handler is tough.
All right, let's put it this way. If you had a good dog,
yeah,
and you had to win one cast or get shot in the kneecap, those are your 2 choices. What handler are you picking for that cast?
Well, you tell me which one's winning going into that one.
Well, I'm just saying it's your
whoever's
dog.
on a hot streak.
It's your dog.
But it's whoever's on a hot streak.
We'll say there hasn't been a hunt in 2 years.
Oh, boy. I don't know what I'd bet on then.
That's a tough
one. I'll bet on Jace before I bet on anybody else. No, I mean, it just all depends. I mean, it depends on the style of dog, too.
That's not the question, Finley.
Well, I can tell you right now, Josh, you're asking a question that's about impossible to answer.
No, it's not impossible to answer. Pick one.
Pick one person.
One person that you would bet on to win a cast over anybody. Just one cast. $1 million cast.
Rick Stretch.
Oh my God. I said active.
He's active.
No, not Rick. Rick Stretch actually has to handle the dog.
Oh, shoot. You didn't say it had to be a PKC yet. Man. One person.
You don't hear mine?
Yeah.
I'm a stats guy. And it's Dustin Weed.
Mm-mm. Nope, I disagree with you.
I'm just saying, if you look at the best handlers in the world.
I would say
Active.
Ryan Croson. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
When it comes to big wins,
Mm-hmm.
he racks them up.
He does.
That's and here's great.
But
Here-
here's what I'm. Hold on a second.
Now
Here's my.
listen to me about greatness.
No, here's my
How is
argument,
greatness
though.
actually measured?
Well, Ryan does it with a dog that he knows he can do it with. We got to hand this guy a dog he's hunted with one night.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
Don't get me wrong, Ryan's a great handler.
no, but now listen to me. How do you measure greatness? Do you measure it in truck wins, world hunt wins, super stake wins?
I measure it in cast win percentage at major events against top competition.
Okay. Dustin Weed's at more of them than anybody in the country.
Yeah, but he's also winning more of them than
No.
any of them in the country.
Do you know? I mean, if you
If you look at
if
just
you
numbers,
look at his winnings,
if you look at just numbers, he's there every week, but so are a lot of guys every week.
right? But what I'm saying is, I ain't taking nothing away from Weed.
No, I'm not taking it
But
against
what I'm saying
anybody
is,
else.
if I
either.
had to pick somebody to win a big hunt right then and there,
It's not a big hunt.
you just said it was for $1 million.
One cast.
Yeah,
$1 million cast.
$1 million cast. I'm taking the person that has won every major event.
So you're taking Ryan?
Yep.
That's not a bad choice. Ryan's a great handler.
And the only the reason is because it seems like when the big hunts come around, he can win them.
Yeah. You know, Ryan, I can't argue with Ryan's great. And what's he been in? 5 Super Stakes finals?
Yeah, he's won. He's been 2 World Hunt finals, I
Yeah,
think.
3, I think.
3.
3 World Hunt finals.
1.
Yeah.
He's been there at nationals. He's been there. He's won a truck. I
Yeah.
mean,
Anyway, you got Weed, I got Croson. Pick 2 more, we'll have cast.
no, I got Croson. You got Weed.
Right.
Yeah,
Either or, I'd say you still got a pretty good shot. Those are 2 top guys.
yeah. But I mean, and people, when you measure a handler greatness, it depends on how you measure it.
I want to touch on one more thing, and that is the dog stuff. We talked about that on the episode before this. Man, this is hard to articulate, but there's no dog that's unbeatable.
No,
They've all been beat a
absolutely.
bunch. But what the one trait that people look for is heart
Yep.
and focus and all that stuff. But talent behind the house can be translated to actual coon hunts, to
Absolutely.
high-end coon hunts.
Yep.
So when you're looking at a dog behind the house, because we're going to have guys listening to this that are in the best dog in the world is tied behind the barn, and it's nobody's seen it yet or anything like that. But I don't think that's the case. I think that if there's a good dog on this planet, someone's going to notice.
Oh, absolutely.
So you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ike Rainey's going to see that dog.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're just pleasure hunting. Someone's going to know about that dog, because you don't pleasure hunt it just by yourself. If you just hunt it by yourself anyway and by itself, you're never going to know what you got anyway.
Correct. And
so-
everybody's going to measure their dog.
Yes.
Everybody's got a buddy that they're going to measure dogs
I don't know anybody that's ever coon hunted that only hunts by themselves with one dog until it dies and then gets another dog.
Nope.
Have you ever seen anybody like
Nope.
that? Okay. So there.
Be impressive if they did, though.
So the myth of the behind the barn coon dog.
Right.
Is that busted?
Absolutely.
That's gonna blow people's minds.
But I mean, everybody's going to know what's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere in this country there's competition hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere in this country there's pleasure hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to find out about one. And hey, by all means, email Josh if you got
There you
that
go.
one that is sitting behind the
Josh
barn
at joydogfood.com.
that is great.
Yep.
I'm interested.
Yeah, give me a
I
call.
will come hunt with it.
We'll
I
bring
got
it.
time.
We'll bring. Actually, you got to bring it to us because I want to see it in a strange spot.
Hey, I'll go hunt with it there. I'll go hunt with it wherever.
Yeah, but before you fork
Hey.
over that money, you're going to want to see it in a different spot.
Absolutely. But here's one thing about a great dog when we were talking about that. A great dog knows where to find a coon.
That is true. Good dogs have a knack
They do.
of finding,
And,
putting you in places that you didn't even know were there and having
Exactly.
a coon. Yeah.
This is a prime example, and the reason I bring this up, it takes me back to Trader. You could cut him loose anywhere in Texas within, I would say, probably 15 miles.
He's going to
of
end
the
up at the Trinity River
He's going to end up right on the edge of Trinity River
with a coon.
with a coon, and he would go through there and tree coons. You get him down in there, he would tree coon after coon after coon after coon. It's just one of them things that's just they know where to go, and they don't forget.
No, they don't. They're smarter than we give them credit for,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
They get smarter every year.
Oh, and I think that's a lot of fault that we have in our dogs that we got now is they're too smart.
That was Colin's big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is you couldn't replicate a cast, and he knew when you were pleasure hunting, and he
Yep.
knew when you weren't.
Yep.
But anyway,
Anyway,
so the behind the barn coon dog,
busted.
yeah, not a factor.
If you got it and you've never hunted with a competition hunter, let us know. We'd love to come try it out.
And let's do. I want to do a couple handler tips before we're done.
Yeah.
First of all, be honest about your dog.
Absolutely.
If your dog has a fault, you
Yep.
have to be honest about
Yep.
it. If you take a loss, you have to know why.
Yes.
You can't make excuses about how you got cheated every time
Yep.
or how you got this or how you got that. Your dog could have done better. I've
Absolutely.
never seen, only one instance I've seen a cast for 2 hours where a dog could not have done better. And that's a lot of casts.
Yeah.
And so even when we win, a dog could have done better.
Absolutely.
So,
There's
anyway.
always a dog in a cast. I have never seen a dog in a cast that did not have downtime.
No, that's
And
the
if-
thing.
if
is
you could
got
have
to
a-
limit the downtime.
If you could have a dog that didn't have no downtime,
That's what made
Con.
Con so good when he was young, was he was just focused on tree and coons.
Yeah.
Sometimes he wasn't the best at it, but he would still pull it off because he was focused on tree and coons.
And one thing that people need to learn is capitalize on what your dog's good at.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some people, if you got an ambush artist dog, hunt ambush style coons. It's very simple, and if you can figure out your dog, you're set.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think, oh,
And part of that is being honest about your dog.
absolutely.
Like, we know what Rain is. We know
Yes.
what Sin is.
We
We,
know
knew
what
what Bella was.
We know what shock is.
Trader was the only outlier as far as our dogs. Is like, we didn't know what we were getting, but we knew when we turned him loose with 3 other dogs, he was going to be better.
Yeah.
Hazel's the same way, but Razor, for instance, we know exactly what Razor is, and these are
Yeah.
all really good coon dogs.
Yeah.
Very good coon dogs, but you have to put them in the right situation.
That's exactly right.
And these aren't. You think of behind the barn coon dogs, and there's been a bunch of them that just came out of the woodwork
Yeah.
and went and won a bunch of money. Strickland just bought one, that Page female.
Yeah.
Anybody ever heard? What was her name? What's her name? Game Changing Page,
Yeah.
something like that. Never heard of her.
Yeah.
Nobody ever heard of Hazel.
No.
Hazel was just down in Arkansas getting pleasure hunted and getting coons knocked out to her, and we found her.
Got lucky.
Yep, got lucky. But anyway,
There's my handler just
yeah,
walked by me
Jace,
again.
Jace just walked by. Yeah, gave you a little fist bump.
Yeah.
He's won more money for you this year than I have.
Yes, he is. He's been pretty productive.
All right, Finley. Any other myths that you think that we need to bust?
Oh, there's a bunch of
There
them.
is a bunch. This could
I
be
mean-
an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to sit down.
I mean, it's like wood chip or cedar chips in a dog box.
Ugh.
hello.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. If we went into just coon hunting, we'll do that next time. Just straight, not competition hunting, just straight coon hunting myths.
Yeah. And I do recommend, and this is no joke, if people would start feeding Joy, they'd see a difference in their dogs.
You're a believer.
I am a believer.
Rain when she won the truck was on 2618 adult performance.
Yep. I mean, you go look at any of my dogs now. They have better coats and more weight than they've ever had.
Yeah, and luckily, all my Joy customers are fantastic. I get all kinds of feedback. Nick Mills called me today, said he's loving the feed. I get guys calling me. James Perriman just switched. He's got a big load down there. He says his dogs are doing great.
Yep.
Joe Manning, of course, he's winning world hunts and everything he frickin' enters on Joy Dog Food. So it's a definitely a quality product.
Yes.
We're not feeding. These are $20, $30, $40, $100,000 dogs.
Yes.
What do you think Dom's worth right now?
I'd say he's a $100,000 dog.
At least.
Easy.
That might be the dog that broke the 100,000, because I think 100,000 pretty much tops so far. But if someone were to call Joe and say, hey, I'm in Cole, and say, hey, I want to buy Dom, it's going to take 150, I bet.
I bet it'd probably take more than that. 'Cause I bet Cole ain't going to sell him.
No, probably not. But I'm just saying, these are expensive dogs that are getting fed this dog food.
Yeah.
These aren't just run of the mill lap dogs.
And the thing is, these are performance dogs.
Yes.
I mean,
they're athletes.
Not saying that big game hounds and stuff like that.
No, big game hounds work
they're
hard.
the exact
bird
same
dogs
way.
work hard.
Yes.
And our bird dog guys, the Sean Riddles and the Bruce Murphys and the
Yes.
Terry Prentice-Hills and the guys that are feeding Joy right now, they're loving it.
And I'm going to be loving to see the difference in the lion hounds this winter.
Yep.
Just to see the difference in their performance compared to what they have now.
You bet. I got to get out there too. I'm going to give Shorty Gorham a shout out. We got to get out there and go hunting with Shorty.
Hey, I told you, I got nothing but time. Let's go.
Shorty is a good dog man.
Yeah.
A sharp dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see his dogs work.
I'm ready to go.
All right, Finley, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it. I'm ready to sign off.
All right. We're going to bust some more. That's what we're going to do. Next time we're on here in about 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to bust regular old hound myths.
Yeah, we could.
We should start on the cold nose versus hot nose.
That's a long, deep subject.
That is a long, deep subject, but I got my ideas. That's been covered on Houndsman XP, but I got my own ideas too. So, all right, we're shutting her down.
All right.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening to the Fueled by Joy podcast, and make sure and look us up wherever you get your podcasts. Hit that subscribe button. If you're on iTunes, make sure and give us a 5-star rating. Leave us a little review because that helps a bunch on our ratings. And thanks for listening.
She'll never die of starvation, although she'll never eat. Maggie the mutt, full of bravery and guts, and always at my feet. Her ribs are showing, her howl is long, but she refuses to die. Maggie will live 100 years longer than I. Maggie the mutt's always down in a rut, looking for some bone that she buried. Maggie the mutt don't get scars, only cuts. She loves me and will not share me. Oh, she loves me and will not share me. ever share me.